Looks like we're going to Wellington. Hello there, kia ora. Originally we were going to do a bit of a sitcom joke here because, well, who doesn't love a comedy sketch? And let's face facts, the government is a bit of a joke. No, look, the canned laughter is not appropriate. In fact, the timing is really bad. In fact, you know what? Let's scrap the whole thing and do this somewhere that is, well, a location we're much more used to. That's better, although a little bit shaky. Look, if I wanted inappropriate timing, I'd ask one of the Prime Minister's 7 social media team members. After all, there is no way to spin the start of 2025 as not being a rough one. There was the loss of Dame Tariana Turia, one of the most influential wahine Māori on the look of 21st century politics in Aotearoa, with a legacy that is certainly memorable and definitely not without controversy. There was the tragic death of police officer Lynn Fleming in Nelson. As the people of Nelson organised a candlelight vigil, the PM was off on his fishing trip with his father and son. Lots of people go fishing over the holidays, but knowing an entire community is coping with something deeply impactful for them while the Prime Minister is doing something fun and personal and showing off on social media, well, it's just like that time he went to those business awards while Dunedin flooded last year, days after sending his lackeys to tell the city that they weren't getting the hospital that they'd been promised. It shows a real inability to read the room and understand the role of Prime Minister. There was that 12-year-old boy who was stopped by police for wearing a shirt for his boxing club that police said looked like gang insignia. Like this Under Armour hat here, actually, that we found in Onehunga yesterday, but, on somebody with brown skin. The club had sought clarification on the logo before the law change from the Minister of Police directly, and were told by the Justice Minister Paul Goldsmith that the aim was not to have cops stopping kids. But don't worry, the worst people in your comment section, and this type of right-wing idiot commentator who makes videos like this where his rabid fan base use every opportunity to show how much mud their knuckles collect while they drag them through the dirt to say the most racist things they can and think it's clever or attractive or coherent, will say that it's okay to harass a kid because that's the rules apparently. The Post in Wellington got back on their cycle lanes are a tool of the devil bullshit with headlines like this, claiming that cycling costs $100 million annually, while ignoring the $9.77 billion annually car accidents cause, while we saw a massive increase in end-of-year holiday season road fatalities. Less than a week after it was revealed that Christmas shopping was at its lowest level that had been in 6 years, caused by the free fall of our economy, which, it's suffering the worst recession since 1991 thanks to the valiant efforts of our government, the Prime Minister told us his New Year's resolution last year was to lower inflation rates, and he succeeded, thanks to the monetary policy and economic hard work in place by the previous government and Treasury and the economic changes internationally, because his policies are the sticky parts of inflation, according to Treasury. It's like saying that my resolution last year was to see the sky, and I went outside and it was all my doing that the sky was there. There's been tragic acts of violence which saw tragic loss of very young life in a massive brawl in Wanaka with 300 young people just days after the police minister tried to tell us that the place was clearly safer because of the fashion police. And Western Bay of Plenty's racist aunt and partner of Hobson's Pledge ghost in charge, Don Brash, thought that was great news. The ferry crossings have been cancelled multiple times due to the weather that the new ferries would have been able to handle if they hadn't been cancelled. The ones that were due, later this year. There was snow on the desert road in January, while our climate change minister is telling everyone to vote for their favourite North Shore beach. And it turned out that the government has a plan to stop smokers smoking by giving them taxpayer-funded vapes that research shows would still not help people quit nicotine and would still cause massive respiratory issues and, financially benefit tobacco companies, because that's always a great outcome that the public support. And hiding the news over the holidays make it, less likely to stick around and be noticed by people. Look, we all want a break during the holidays, especially after such a long, depressing year. But when you're in charge of the country, that's not always going to be possible. you're always on call. You're always the face of the decisions you've made during the year, which impact the lives of everyone else in the country. It's a worrying sign that kicking off 2025, we're already seeing signs of more chaos, more ambivalence to the public, and more evidence that ignoring data and research to push the ideological changes that we've seen so far are leading to exactly the issues that the data and research said they would. Which is a really worrying sign for the year ahead for all of us. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along. We deal with these guys for the rest of the year.